Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, and thanks for tuning in here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Guys, good morning.
Ooh, good morning. I got an early birthday
Why
gift
did
last
everybody
night.
just sigh?
Oh, no. I mean, I
It's
don't know
Friday
why Jeff
Eve.
did. Yeah. Oh, my God. Here we are again.
Russell Westbrook got benched. Adam, I know you're delighted this morning.
Is that your birthday
Elated.
gift? Is that what your birthday gift is?
Look, you know, I'm very thankful for all the Christmas presents I received this year. I'm thankful for the new year. Thankful for all of you.
New year, new
There's
me?
nothing better than what happened last night, but we'll get to it a little
Yeah.
bit. The Pistons played the Kings, Jeff. Walking me through it, man.
Oh, yeah. Last night, listen, it was a very weird game, number one, because Cade Cunningham got in foul trouble, of course, got those early fouls, and really the only person on the floor who had any effort last night was a couple guys. Kelly Olynyk returned. He played well. Sadiq Bey, I think, was at one point the only Piston in double digits, so he was trying to do everything at one point. The Pistons, though, they stayed, they fought, and Corey Joseph, I don't know what's funny about Corey Joseph is every time we play the Kings, Corey Joseph looks like a solid backup point guard. And if we play the other 81 teams in the league, maybe Indiana being the other one, he just doesn't play well. If we could play the Kings every night, Corey Joseph would be a solid backup point guard. And he looked good last night, obviously. You know, Killian Hayes out with the hip contusion. But last night, I think I was the most impressed because, number one, they were getting destroyed in the paint. The Sacramento Kings, I mean, this has been an issue all year. We talked about the Pistons lacking size, and they had Kelly Olynyk back, and they still couldn't defend the paint. The Sacramento Kings were taking over in the first half, and then as the third quarter, the fourth quarter started picking up, the Pistons, they started, equalizing that score in the paint. I think at the end of the game, it was pretty equal points in the paint. So Pistons did a good job. They fought. They were down at least, 10 points the entire game, 5 points. They were always trailing, and they made that jump in the fourth quarter. I think Sadiq had 6 of our last 11 points, which, I mean, can't complain about Sadiq, man. He's playing his ass off. Even without Cade Cunningham, not playing really a lot of the game due to the foul troubles. The Pistons just last night, I mean, you could take Sadiq Bey away, Kelly Olynyk, Corey Joseph. They just fouled so much last night. I mean, I think the entire team, by the end of the game, had about close to 30 fouls. And that just can't happen. You can't foul that much, and it's going to happen when you don't have size. So it is what it is. It's an impressive win. They win on the road. They haven't been a very good team on the road all year, and they did it. Yes, against the Sacramento Kings, which, say what you want about the Sacramento Kings. To me, I'll take the win. I mean, we said we'll bet the over on the 25.5. So any win I'll take at this point. But it was an impressive win. Really, the thing I only took away from it was watching Sadiq Bey, the return of Kelly Olynyk, of course. So it's going to get exciting.
Yeah, look, I mean, the Pistons were only down 5
at
halftime. And Killian Hayes basically found out not too long after. Or, Cade Cunningham. But you know how you win basketball games? When you outscore your opponent's bench by almost 45 points.
Yeah, bench came in clutch.
Olynyk himself outscored the Kings bench.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically the story of the game. I mean, this doesn't happen often. I think it's an outlier. You're not going to win like that. Pistons aren't scoring 133 a game consistently. Magruder, 15 points. Olynyk, 22 in 22 minutes? Really? It's like Klay Thompson numbers. Corey Joseph looked like Michael Jordan last night. And Sadiq Bey played a very good game. I got to give him credit. But yeah, look, the Kings are a mess too. What are they, 18 and 27, 28?
Yeah.
They don't have the best record.
No.
They're like middle of the pack competitive.
They have an interim head coach.
They have an interim head coach. I like De'Aaron Fox. They're reportedly interested in trading him for Domantas Sabonis. Everybody's trading everybody right now.
Yeah, I know.
But no trades are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is rumored to have traded or wanting to trade somebody or interested in trading somebody, and nothing is happening. How the hell Cade Cunningham falls out in 21 minutes is beyond me.
Hold on. We got someone in the chat. We need to address this. I can't let this slide. Matt, I'm sorry, Matt, But if you're going to come in this chat and say, I would take the rookie the Kings have over Cade any day, he was so much better at everything. And before that, my man Matt put, did either of you watch the game? Cade was a non-factor yet again. Yet again, that's no. In a win, he contributed absolutely
What's
nothing.
your definition of Cade being a factor? I'm really curious. Could you please answer?
Yeah, that confuses me.
Because Cade Cunningham is, 16, 6, and 6 right now in the year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Second overall,
the highest PER on the team.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely right.
Which means he has the most value on the team. Outside of Evan Mobley, there's not a rookie playing anywhere near the level he's playing at. I'm honestly confused. Now you can say that, you can say that you would take. That's your opinion. That's fine. You can take all the Kings rookies over Cade. That's fine. But him as a non-factor, okay. Last night he was a non-factor. Sure. Foul trouble.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
4 for 8. I mean,
he is a rookie. He is a rookie. You want me to sit up here and actually, allow myself to even agree with it? No, I can't do that. I can't. That's the #1 overall pick. He's a rookie. It's 8:07 in the morning. I'm not even going to acknowledge or deal with this. I would like to move on to the early birthday present I received. I don't know if you guys heard. It's my birthday pretty soon. Big number for me. Anyway,
what age are you turning?
Big number for you. Ooh-wee.
Big 4-0. Big 4-0.
No.
Turning 40.
Everyone, he's lying. You brought it up. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you brought it up. So
turning 40.
sorry.
I'm turning 40. Anyways,
it's not turning 40.
I'm turning 40. The Los Angeles Lakers. Frank Vogel decided, you know what? Adam has been such a good sport all year. We are going to treat him to one of, if not the greatest early birthday present in the world. Which is benching Russell freaking Westbrook. Yes! Oh, my God. Let me tell you. The joy I woke up with. I don't stay up to watch the goddamn Lakers. Honestly, I don't even care about the Lakers. But beyond the point. Oh, my God. Mr. MVP got benched. One of the best point guards in the NBA. Shut up. Shut up. Yes. They benched him. Oh, my God. The front office said he had the green light to bench Russell Westbrook. Okay, fine.
I love that.
What does Frank Vogel do in the first game? He gets the green light. Dude's playing like trash. And you know what's funny? Last night was so weird for Russell Westbrook. He was actually 4 of 6 from the three-point line. They finished 5 of 17 for the game. He couldn't do anything except hit three-pointers. It is the funniest thing ever. And that's the problem with Russell Westbrook. You just never know what in the hell you're going to get from him. 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He contributed nothing. Nothing. And they benched him. Oh, my goodness. Domantas Sabonis should be the MVP. He got a triple-double last night. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
We only talk about triple-doubles when the dude in LA right now gets them. What a pathetic.
You know what was the turning point of that game too when he got benched, and I read the article on it. Apparently, Karis LeVert, they went over all week in practice what to do with Karis LeVert. They said, do not let him drive with his right hand. And I think it was the third quarter. Russell Westbrook's on Karis LeVert. What does he do? Drives to the rim with his right hand. Russell lets him blow right past him. Frank Vogel couldn't blow that whistle. I mean, call the timeout soon enough. Get the guys in the huddle. Tell Russell, okay, you're gonna sit on that bench.
Well, let's be fair to Russell Westbrook, right? I'm a fair guy. I'm willing to look at the entire sample of data, right? I'm not just gonna call him out. Let's just go over his last 6 games, right? That's a good sample size, I think.
Yeah. Good enough sample
size. The last
size.
6 games, Russell Westbrook, 14 points, 15 points, 19 points, 8, 6, and 9 points. $40 million a year for that. 3 assists, 3 assists, 3 assists, 6 assists, 8 assists. Oh, and of course, 13 assists. 2 rebounds, 8 rebounds, 5 rebounds, 12, 7, and 11. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. He has shot less than 30% from the three-point line in those 6 games. He shot less than 40% from the field in those 6 games. He's a mess. The Lakers are a mess.
They are. And that's what I always say. What keeps Killian in the game? All right, he maybe can't. He's a decent shooter, of course, but he can guard three positions. With Russell Westbrook, if you can't guard and you can't shoot, what do you offer me? Like, this is the Mike McCarthy argument. What do you offer me? And if you don't offer me anything, go sit your ass on the bench because it'll help out the whole team. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It's funny.
I just gotta say, look, I don't like when people lose their jobs. You know. I root for people to make a living and be successful. Don't get me wrong. But come on, Russell Westbrook. He got benched. Oh, where are the Russell Westbrook people in the chat? Where are they? Where am I good for? Stick, I love you, buddy.
Oh, this would be a great time to talk to Stick.
I know you're probably asleep right now.
No, he's up. He was in the Slack.
All right.
Or not the Slack. He was in the Google Sheets.
I would love to see you in the chat. Talk to me about Russell Westbrook right now. What's going on with your boy? What's going on? He hasn't had a triple-double in almost a month.
That is Stick's boy. Stick loves his Russell
He hasn't had a
Westbrook.
triple-double. His superpowers.
He gets benched.
He needs his fix. Where's the triple-double? I need the triple-double. Who cares about the team? Championships don't matter. I just need my triple-double.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Maddie,
Lakers are in it.
Gotta go to break.
They got their own issues going on.
Gotta go to break before people start calling me a drug addict.
All right, guys, when we come back, we're talking about the future of the Lions with Jared Goff. But first, we have to talk about Cintron.
Well, listen, guys. Cintron, talk about Little Caesars Arena and the Pistons and how successful they are at home. Well, if you're in Little Caesars Arena, Cintron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at, you see it right there in the picture, Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and a great taste, Cintron is your top choice. Buy online at cintronworld.com with the promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm Cade Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. A lot of possibilities are being thrown in the air as we've entered the post-regular season, if you will. But what do we think the Lions' future is with Jared Goff?
I'll tell you what. So I thought about this a lot yesterday.
Me too. It was a tough one.
And I looked at the Lions' options post-June 1st. And if they trade, just hear me out. Don't freak out. I'm not saying you have to trade or you should trade Jared Goff. But I just want you guys, this is part of the whole story. Post June 1st, this offseason, and the next, you can trade him for a $5 million cap hit, and you save $26 million on the cap. That's a big deal. Now, what team is willing to eat that cap? What team? I mean, the whole deal. I don't even think the Lions should even do it. Even if they wanted to pursue somebody like a Derek Carr. What are you going to have to give up to get Derek Carr? Keep in mind, yes, it was Matthew Stafford. But the Rams gave you 2 first-round picks and a third just to get rid of Jared Goff. What are you going to have to do to get rid of Jared Goff? Maybe just a second, maybe a first, who knows? But I'm not comfortable giving away draft capital right now. I want to give Brad Holmes as much as he can get. So the future of Jared Goff, honestly, is he's the starting quarterback of this team next year. And given the schedule they have next year, which we have not gone in depth on too much on the show yet, but that schedule has 8, 9, maybe even 10 wins.
Wow. 10 wins?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it is an easier schedule. We can get that.
You play the AFC East and the NFC East. You should lose to the Bills, maybe to the Patriots.
Yeah.
You should lose to the Cowboys, but they're the Cowboys.
Just beat
So
the
you could
Giants.
go 4-0 in the NFC East and 2-2 in the AFC East, and you're 6-2.
Haven't even gotten to
And
Chicago
then if you
yet.
go 3-3 in your division, you're already 9-5.
Yep.
You have 3 games left on the year. Figure out how to win one of them. It's not that far off to me. It really isn't. Now again, I clarified from the beginning. I hope you open your ears and listen. 1, I'm not saying you trade Jared Goff. And 2, I understand the cap hit implications for the opposing team. I think it's an impossible trade to pull off. But damn it, if you look at the cap hit, you only eat $5 million for the next 2 to 3 years if you trade him post-June 1st. Now, again, I don't think anybody's taking on that contract. And you can release him for the same cap hit, not this offseason, but the next. So what is the future of the Detroit Lions at quarterback? I think we all are kind of out in the loop right now. We're out of the loop. Is Brad Holmes committed to Jared Goff long term? He was part of the team that drafted him.
Right.
Or is it we're going to see what we can get out of Jared Goff these next 2 seasons? And if we reach a peak, which I expect them to reach because it's Jared Goff, then we're going to go out and find our quarterback in the draft, which is fine. But I do caution you. You would have to pull an Andy Reid-esque type of regular season and postseason performance to earn that kind of time to go 3 full seasons with Jared Goff, then move on and draft the future quarterback. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So after 3 seasons of Jared Goff, if you haven't been to the playoffs once, and then you want to sell the ownership and the fan base, well, now we're going to go after our quarterback? No. Because there's probably going to be 1 quarterback from this class that works out. There's probably going to be 1 or 2 from next year and 1 or 2 from the year after. It happens every single year. You don't have 3 years to sit and wait for Jared Goff. You don't. And if you see the Jared Goff that you saw towards the end of last season, yeah, that's nice. It really is. But I take it with a pinch of salt, because I also saw what the first part of the season looked like. And I saw what the last 3 seasons in Los Angeles looked like, and that was under Sean McVay.
Yeah.
So, Detroit, identify what your ceiling is. Have I identified the ceiling of Brad Holmes? No, I think it's extremely high, though. I am happy. Have I identified the ceiling of Dan Campbell? No. How high is it? Honestly, I am not sure. He could be really bad. He could be really good. At this point in time, nobody can make a fair assessment.
Right.
Other than, since he took over play calling, the team looked much better offensively, and they turned it around towards the end of the year. I'm not saying they were one of the better teams in the NFL, but damn it, they looked at least competent and watchable. I'll take it. And then I move to the quarterback. What is Jared Goff's ceiling? Technically, Super Bowl loss. But that has so many variables. Considering he only threw 1 touchdown pass in that postseason, I don't think you get to the Super Bowl throwing 1 touchdown pass in today's NFL.
Yeah.
All right? So that's that. And there was a pass interference call that wasn't called in the NFC title game. I don't have to get into.
Saints still can't sleep at night.
So my point is here, what does the future look like with Jared Goff? I think he's your starting quarterback next year. I think that's pretty obvious. I don't think that'll ever change. And we'll see what happens from there, Jeff.
Yeah, I think you hammered it right on the head. And I think my point, I was going to go with it, is we understand what Jared Goff is. Like, we've been through this. We've been talking about Jared Goff ever since we acquired him. Jared Goff, solid, middle-of-the-pack quarterback. Nothing wrong with it, by the way. Nothing wrong with that. That's just the reality. And it depends on what your expectations are for Jared Goff. How much of an uphill battle are you trying to have him fight? I mean, that's really what it is. And with the Lions, how often are you going to have him climb out of that hole? That's the question. With the Rams, didn't really need to climb out of a whole lot of holes. Usually they had the lead, didn't have to climb back a whole lot. You saw it. Like, talk about good years by Jared Goff. We always talk about his first 3 years. That second year, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That third year, 32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And then kind of that decline after. And we saw a good season this year. I just don't think you really know what you're getting from season to season with Jared Goff. But the fact is, Jared Goff's solid. I mean, he is a quarterback you can have on your team, and if you have a excellent coaching, excellent play calling, and a good roster, above average roster, he can get you a playoff win, I believe. But there's limitations to Jared Goff, and that's not really who I see in a franchise quarterback. Someone who when I think of a franchise quarterback, I think of someone who overcomes your team's deficiencies. That's just who I think of. Quarterback who's willing now. There's a certain extent. I mean, if you want to bring up Stafford, there's a certain extent of overcoming you can do. Only a certain guy can overcome so much.
No, I think there's a difference between overcoming a roster and a team, and overcoming an organization and its history. Big difference. Like the quarterback, when I think of a franchise quarterback, I think of someone who can overcome roster deficiencies. And I don't want my quarterback to be over accommodated for to be able to win games. So with Jared, he's great. I mean, you have him, you're stuck with him, and there's no problem with that. He's a guy you can keep your ship afloat, if you will. But for me, I see Jared as the guy, the Alex Smith for the Chiefs, if you will. Now we're not in the playoffs yet, but I see it so you draft your quarterback sitting behind Jared Goff, and then there's the passing of the torch. That's how I see it. Jared, to me, yes, he needs more weapons. Yes, it's hard to evaluate him this year because of what was around him. But then again, I have 5 years of film on Jared Goff. So it's not like I'm only taking this season. I know what Jared Goff is. We've seen it every single year. So if the roster gets tremendously better, he can win you some ball games. But to me, is he the future? Probably not, because there's a ceiling with Jared Goff. And but you're not drafting a quarterback this year, and I think that's really the whole point to this.
No, you got another year or two.
You're not drafting a quarterback this offseason, and if you are, I mean, I would genuinely be surprised. I'm so serious about this. I am not expecting Holmes to pull a trigger on a quarterback. Now, if it happens in the third, fourth round, I wouldn't be, but I'm talking first, second round. That would blow my mind. I would not expect it. I'm not sure how I'd react Friday morning after the draft, honestly. I'm not sure how I would react in the moment to the Lions drafting a quarterback, whether it's with the second, the 25th, 26th, whatever the second pick is, and then in the second round. I'm not sure what that reaction looks like. And I don't expect it to happen. But yes, people, reality check. Jared Goff has limitations. You have to accept that. Cool. Build a team around him. Try to hide his mistakes as much as possible. That's what the Lions are going to be doing. And I think in 2023 is when you draft your quarterback. I think that class has much more upside than this class, but I could be totally wrong. Been wrong before.
Yeah.
Seriously. But I think we just a mutual understanding right now. Goff's the quarterback next year. Accept it, build a talented roster, and see where you can go. But Detroit, I warn you, don't find your positions, or don't find yourselves in a position where you are the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield's your quarterback.
God bless.
Don't find yourselves in a position. Now, granted, Dallas does win the division, so I'm not going to talk too much about Dak, but don't find yourself in a position where you feel like you're overpaying for a quarterback. I could never overpay Mahomes. I could never overpay Herbert, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray.
Franchise quarterbacks.
Even though Kyler Murray's scaring me a little bit because of his size, but the point is Russell Wilson, Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, all these quarterbacks, even from the past. When you have the guy, you pay him.
Right.
Now, is it more convenient if they take less of a salary cap hit and they restructure their deal? Sure. I'd love my quarterback to do that, but I don't expect him to do that. But I expect my ownership group to be able to identify the difference between Dak Prescott $40 million a year, Patrick Mahomes $40 million a year.
Bingo.
And if I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, that absolutely terrifies me. But if I'm myself, which I am, it makes me absolutely crack up because the Dallas Cowboys absolutely suck. Whew. Russell Westbrook getting benched last night. The Cowboys debacle. Troy Aikman now calling out his CeeDee Lamb. Life can't get better.
No, it can't.
All I'm missing is for the Detroit Lions to win a division and host a home playoff game and win that game. Now, it could happen in 3 years, could happen in 50 years. I don't know. I may not even be alive for it, but I'm waiting for it. I'm here for it. Oh, man. Maddie, I do have one question for you, though.
Oh, boy.
Real quick, before we get off this topic. One, what'd you think of Jared Goff this year? And two, people in the chat are suggesting they're only keeping Jared Goff because of his girlfriend. Is that fact or fiction?
Well, I'm going to start with question number 2. That's fiction. She's great. She's beautiful, but Jesus. Anyways, I thought he had a good season with the Lions. It started off terribly. We all saw it. But I also think that's an adjustment that you make when you come to a new team. He had no idea what he was getting up against. You can only practice what you can in the offseason. Once you hit the field, though, that's when the real Lions come out. So I thought he did what he could, and he improved, and that's all that we could ask for. So towards the end of the season, we saw some good things come out of him, and I think that there is a little bit of potential that he will do well next year. But I thought he had a good season. I'm glad where we left off. Was I happy in the beginning? Absolutely not, but I don't think anybody was. However, when you show improvement like that and you show that you can make something with the team that you have. It's like being in a marriage. Yeah.
You know, you just come home some days and you want to beat the living crap out of them. You just do. Come home, you just want to, but you don't because you love them, So you hold yourself back. And with the Lions, sometimes you want to do this. You really do. You got to be a little patient because you love them.
100%.
My marriage analogy is probably not the best this morning.
Saw where you were going.
All right, well, we got to go to break, Maddie.
Anyways, speaking of possibilities, will Jim Harbaugh be leaving? We'll talk about that when we come back, but first, Guardian Alarm.
Listen, guys, we're talking about good defenses. Well, I have a good defense for you. Guardian Alarm. Guardian Alarm gets it, whether for home or for business. A good defense helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home or business, control lights or temperatures, detect smoke or carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock doors. Call 800 Stay Out today.
Out.
You heard Fish. Call on 800
Stay out.
Let
Get
them know
the
Woodward
hell
Sports
out.
sent you. Guardian Alarm.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch, downloading our app on Google Play and Apple, and of course, downloading the podcast wherever you listen, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music. A few reports came out recently that Jim Harbaugh may be open to the Raiders position if he was offered. What do you guys think?
Well, I think somebody's suitcase is already being packed.
Really?
Yeah. I told you guys, when Mike Mayock was fired, I warned you. That move makes me feel even worse about Harbaugh actually going to the Las Vegas Raiders. For me, it's done with. And the report is, Maddie, it's not even that he's rumored to go. It's he will accept the offer, Maddie, if the Raiders offer the position to Harbaugh, which I find incredible. And again, this could be leverage. Agent leaking a report, hey, he was on the phone. Michigan, if you're not shelling out $10 million annual, good luck trying to keep Jim Harbaugh. Sorry. And to all you people, oh, well, Harbaugh, well, what kind of success is he going to... Stop. He went to the 49ers, who had 7 losing seasons in the previous 8 years. And were coming off a 6-10 year when he showed up. And they went to 3 straight NFC title games.
Yeah. Lost in the Super
With
Bowl.
Alex Smith, who you all considered a bust, and Colin Kaepernick, who's now a freedom fighter. That's who we went to 3 NFC title games with. Never had a losing season in the NFL. Harbaugh will do just fine in the NFL. That is not my concern. Now, am I concerned if they offer him the GM head coach role? Yeah. Outside of Belichick, who the hell is doing that successfully?
Yeah, no
and please don't say Belichick because he's the anomaly. That's like me expecting any quarterback the Lions may draft in the future to be Tom Brady. How naive and stupid am I? I would be naive and stupid. Aaron freaking Rodgers has one Super Bowl ring. Drew Brees has one. Winning Super Bowls are hard. That's why we start at the bottom, right? Let's win the division. Let's win some playoff games. Let's get to some NFC title games. Put yourself in a position to get to a Super Bowl. Not just talk about winning a Super Bowl. Jesus Christ. Harbaugh's gone. Harbaugh is gone. And later on in the show, we'll get to who Michigan can replace to hire him. Or, who they can hire to replace him. Sorry, my words are everywhere this morning. What can Michigan do? Where will they be left off? I'll get to it later. What I will tell you right now is that's the right decision for Jim, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you honestly believe he can compete in Ann Arbor against Ohio State, Georgia, and Alabama for the next 3 years? Do we believe he can?
Especially with the free agency frenzy.
With now NIL.
Yeah.
And the already up, like, guys, the whole academic standard thing, you may write it off. I don't.
Yeah, it's important.
It matters. You think 80% of these kids are going to a top university for their quote-unquote education? No. Okay, maybe 80% is a bit high, but 60%, let's say, a majority. No, they're going there to play football. If you couldn't tell, Kayvon Thibodeau, perfect example. If you saw his interview with Joel Klatt, it's like, I came here to play ball. It's not just about my education. I came here to play ball. They're college football athletes. They want to play football. That's it. They don't want to maintain a 3.5 GPA. They don't want to do any of this stuff.
No.
So here we are. Michigan, what do? You got to offer him a huge contract. But not even just the contract. You got to offer some way, somehow, we're going to unload NIL money, and we are going to lower our academic standard for student athletes. How the hell? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I just have suggestions. If you can't do any of those things, Harbaugh's gone. Sayonara. And I know we talk about family, moving the family out to Vegas. They're going to private schools, man. They're living in a secluded neighborhood, private, gated community. It's not like his kids are going to walk outside and see the Las Vegas Strip and a bunch of strippers. It's not that serious, guys. Relax. Vegas is literally like 2 blocks. Yeah. The rest of it is a desert.
He's living in Nevada. I mean, it's,
literally. Come on.
In Nevada.
We're dramatic a bit. Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. Harbaugh's gone, guys. Honestly, I really think he's going back to the NFL. And you know what? If he can win with Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, he can win with Derek Carr.
Yeah. Yeah.
My only thing with the Raiders job that concerns me for Jim is he's taking on a hell of a job.
Oh, yeah. Hell of a division, too.
Patrick Mahomes.
Battling with him and Herbert.
Justin Herbert. You have the third best quarterback in the division right now.
Imagine if Aaron goes to Denver.
If Aaron goes to Denver, you have the 4th best quarterback in the division. So even now, you're already behind the 8-ball the
right.
second you sign with the Raiders. And to be quite honest with you, I think the Bears job, I don't think he's interested. It's just not worth it for him. But
yeah.
Again, look at all the teams that won the division this year. The best quarterback in the division won the division. It's that simple. Jeff, what the hell is going on in Ann Arbor?
Listen, personally, I don't know if he's going to leave or not. The reports are looking like it. At this point, all I know is from an ownership perspective, Mark Davis, owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, this man likes splashes. And this is the reason why he inked the deal originally with John Gruden, 10-year deal originally. But the question is Jim Harbaugh going to return to the NFL? I think at this point only he knows that. But what I do know is what I see from the outside, my perspectives. And Jim's a guy who likes, not answering really to anybody, he likes being the man. And you understand that with the firing of Mike Mayock, that it kind of opens up an interesting situation because now it allows Jim, if he were to be hired, they would allow him to work with the GM and find a guy he likes, because when he was with San Francisco, yes, he had success. Yes, he made NFC championships. Yes, he made the Super Bowl. But he fought with Trent Balake. I mean, those guys fought all the time.
Did you say Balake? Bulky. Balake. Man, that is like the greatest movie ever, by the way.
No. Yeah, Balky. I almost said Bulk. Yeah. Bach. I don't know how to say his name. It's 2 A's.
Oh, my God. That Aaron. Oh, my goodness. What a scene. What a scene. I'm sorry. I'm so off script right now. Huh?
What are you talking about? Aaron, the substitute teacher?
Come on, man.
Yeah. Key and Peele. You said movie. I was like, wait, is it a movie?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's not a movie.
But anyway, Balk. But the issues he had with Balk, I mean, it was clear. It was about roster. It was about the quarterback position, various issues. So at this point, it looks likely, like the Raiders, if he were to leave, he ain't going to the Bears, he ain't going to any of these other jobs. It's probably the Raiders. But my question is the exact same one you just brought up, is the division. And how interesting would that be? All right, Jim, you're going from the Big Ten. All right, you had to get over Ohio State, and you just did it this year. Congratulations. Now you're going to play against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Brandon Staley now, and Justin Herbert, and possibly, who knows who's going to hire in Denver. It could be anybody, and their future quarterback. So it is, it looks like an uphill battle. What are they going to do with Derek Carr? I don't know, but the Raiders, it's the brand. I mean, it's a good job for him. It's a good spot for him, but it's just going to be interesting to see how he holds up in that division. That's really what my concern is, just because there's a lot of competition. And Jim, we know he's a hell of a coach, but sometimes if you're a hell of a coach, you still need a roster. I mean, at the end of the day.
But even the project, is it long-term? Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
No, in the NFL.
Oh, no. I mean, not as long as...
Is he going to be like his brother John and stay with an organization for 8, 10, 12, 14 years? Probably not.
Yeah.
You expect that at Michigan. But if he goes to the Raiders, you're talking 4 or 5 years at the most. And that's given he's successful. So, I mean, it's a big move for Jim. I mean, if he doesn't go to the NFL and he stays at Michigan, he can always hold on to and say, oh, it's 47-16 in the NFL.
Dude can win.
I cleaned house in the NFL. I got to Super Bowl. I got to 3 NFC title games. I proved it in the NFL. I have nothing to prove in the NFL. Or he has the mindset of, man, I want to go back to the NFL. I can't win with this goddamn university with one arm tied behind my back, because Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, all these schools are going to be in play while I just sit here having to pitch academic standards, the maize and blue. The maize and last time we've done anything is 97.
Hey, they won a Big Ten.
You're not pitching 18-year. They weren't even alive in 97.
They won a Big Ten championship this year and beat Ohio State.
You think that's going to change the recruiting cycle? It helps. It does help. But you think that's going to change his fortunes? Is he going to leave J.J. McCarthy, who I could argue is what they need to overcome an Ohio State, Georgia, a Bama?
They love that Cade McNamara.
Yeah.
And this is the question I have for Jim. I wanted to bring this up quickly. I think it's an interesting point. When Jim first got to San Francisco, the first year they went 13-3, correct?
Yes.
So that same year, let me read you off the NFC West standings. And this is interesting. Cardinals 8-8, Seahawks 7-9. You have the Rams 2-14. So very different times now with this NFC West, and it's different now with the division he's going to.
Though. It evolved because the next year Russell Wilson was there, and they won 11 games. The third year Russell Wilson, I believe they were 12-4.
Right.
It was back and forth. Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh. Like, yes, year one, the division wasn't easy, or excuse me, it was easy. Yeah. But after that, I mean, it got
it
pretty
started
good,
getting harder.
pretty fast.
But by the time it was fully there, he was already out. He was back at Michigan. So my point being, he's walking into a division that you're already saying third best as he joins. My question is, it's going to be interesting to see who they get at GM. What kind of team can they build for the Las Vegas Raiders? Because that division, whew, it ain't no joke. But I got faith in Jim, though. Hell of a coach. I mean, the guy can coach in the NFL, so I'm not too worried about it. And I think the Las Vegas Raiders at this point, with Jim Harbaugh instead of John Gruden, absolutely going to attract more free agents. I think more guys are going to want to play for Jim Harbaugh.
How does Jim Harbaugh sustain this year's level of success at Michigan. They need to recruit better.
Have to. Yep.
You have to recruit better. It's that simple. And how is he supposed to compete when Michigan is nowhere near involved in terms of NIL as some of these other schools? It's a big commitment. It's not only a huge financial commitment, it's a complete change in ideology. Some of these schools haven't even accepted NIL yet. Like, it is a thing. And with Michigan, how are you going to attract these 4-star, 5-star recruits? How are you going to get them away from a Georgia, a Bama, an Ohio State, even a Clemson? Now USC is at the front of the table. Good luck competing with USC for kids out of Cali. Good luck finding kids in Texas. Mel Tucker's going to be successful because he can recruit in the South. What about you, Jim? Like, it's not getting any easier. And I don't blame Jim Harbaugh if he wants to walk away from Michigan. Because what the hell does he have to work with right now where he can say, you know, in the next 3 to 5 years, yeah, easily I can get back to another college football playoff. Can they? Ohio State next year, C.J. Stroud, Smith and Jimba, and Marvin Harrison Jr. And that doesn't include the offensive line returning. The freshman running back will be a sophomore now.
Trayvon Henry,
A defense that will be much better likely next year. Okay. What about Michigan State? They look pretty good. What are you going to do? What does your future look like? And remember, you play in the hardest division, I could argue, in college football. You have to play Michigan State, Ohio State. It all runs through that division. The Big Ten Championship typically runs through that division. You won the Big Ten this year. You were, I believe, what, top 15 in recruiting? Okay, good. But you need to be in the top 3, top 5. Texas A&M had the number 1 recruiting class. Like, there are things you can't control being the coach at Michigan. You can only recruit so much. And is that so much enough to compete with Georgia, Bama, Ohio State? I'm so happy for Harbaugh this year and Michigan. I really am. So happy they finally delivered. That does not mean I forget the last 7 years. That does not mean I don't know what it looks like when Ohio State is running the table, when Michigan State is running the table in the Big Ten. Don't forget the last 7, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years, because you had success this year. Don't get complacent. Michigan need to get a lot better. And will they do it with Jim Harbaugh? We'll have to wait and see. We got to go to break, Maddie.
All right, guys, make sure you stick around when we come back. Troy Aikmen ripped into Cowboys coaches yesterday morning. But first, Adam, can you please tell us about Gypsy Vodka?
Absolutely. Gypsy is the best tasting and smoothest vodka on the market. Check it out. I actually had a glass last night. I treated myself to multiple drinks while I was getting ready for the show. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by the name of Gypsy. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, please drink responsibly.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Go! Detroit Sports on Demand.
DeAndre Swift, he's going to take it all the way for the touchdown. Open in the corner, he triple.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app today. Take us with you everywhere you go. Search Woodward Sports Network or WSN Live.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Guys, yesterday morning on a radio show in Dallas, Troy Aikmen ripped apart the Cowboys coaches over CeeDee Lamb not getting the ball more often in the last game that they played. Adam, was he right?
He hit it right on the head. Troy Aikmen.
Troy did not hold back.
Not
Jesus
even a
Christ.
little bit.
Well, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch his comments. Like, I didn't watch the whole thing, but when I read it, I was like, holy crap, Jesus, he did not hold back at all. And you know what? He made a fair point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not even just Michael Irvin. When you're in single coverage and you only have one catch, What the hell are you doing all game?
There's a problem.
Imagine Calvin Johnson was in single coverage all game.
He'd get 15 targets.
And he finished with 1 catch.
Oh, no.
Now, look, CD's not Calvin, but I think the point we're trying to make is when you have a good wide receiver, let alone great, and he's in single coverage all game, you can't find an underneath route, a comeback route, a dig route, a 5 and out, a 5 and in, nothing? You can't call up anything because you have to remember in today's NFL, corners can't touch you. They can't. Which means, honestly, in single coverage, your wide receiver, if he's a good wide receiver, just good. And I think we all can say CeeDee Lamb is above good. He's pretty damn good, actually.
Yeah, I would say the most talented receiver they have. I don't give a damn if they're paying Amari.
And you should be able to win your individual one-on-one matchup 80 to 90% of the time.
Yeah.
80 to 90% of the time, you should be at least open enough for your quarterback to throw the ball to you. And single coverage. No wonder Troy Aikman is pissed. And he has every right to be. You can't be a tier 1 wide receiver on your football team, or at least you want to be one, and show up like that in the playoffs. You know what Calvin did in his first playoff game? A lot. 200 yards against the Saints. I think damn near 200. I think he was a little off of 200, but still. CeeDee Lamb had all this coming to him. And I have no problem with what Troy Aikman said. I really have no problem with it.
No, me either. And I think Troy Aikman was not only coming after Kellen Moore a little bit, it was a little bit of Dak, and it was just his situation. Listen, if I had Michael Irvin in single coverage, he's getting the damn ball. And it's that simple. And he said it is really that simple at the end of the day. And I agree with Troy, number one. Let me say that. And obviously, not all quarterback, play and play calling aligns with Troy's thinking, but the reality is, I think the answer is really that simple. I mean, look at the game. This could be another reason that ultimately maybe Kellen Moore isn't ready yet to be a head coach. We've said that already, but you talk about the Cowboys offense and, early in the year, they already get enough flack for, at times bailing on the run. But what about making simple in-game adjustments like, they're playing I would say your most talented wide receiver, not the highest paid, Amari is, but I think CeeDee's their best weapon. He's in single coverage the whole game, and you don't find a way to get him the ball. When the opposing team, the 49ers, are finding every way possible to get the ball to Deebo Samuel, it's inexcusable. And I think it's more of an example of why coaching matters. I mean, look at Kyle Shanahan compared to Kellen Moore's attention to detail. Obviously, the two different levels. And with the Cowboys, you had CeeDee Lamb. I understand. I know someone mentioned in the chat he was pouting, which was true. There was times where he was pouting. But at the end of the day, how could you not pout? I mean, the guy caught a 25-yard pass, I believe, and it was a holding call. It got called right back. It's never an ending. You can't catch a break with this team. So with CeeDee Lamb, he should have got more targets. I know he had that touchdown pass to Amari Cooper, but you're playing in single coverage.
The Cowboys played awful. I mean, this is not just on CeeDee Lamb.
No, it's not on
But
CeeDee.
to Troy Aikman's point, when you are in single coverage all game, you need to be winning your matchups. You have to be.
He needs to get the ball. That's what he was also saying. But
that's on the quarterback as well, and that's on the receiver to get open, and that's on the coordinator to say we need to get this guy involved. He's in single coverage. I see it, identify it, take advantage of it. Imagine Tyreek Hill in a playoff game was allowed to sit in single coverage all game, and Andy Reid only targeted him 3 times. And the Chiefs lost. The hell you think would happen in Kansas City the next day? There would be a riot. Look, CeeDee Lamb is such a talented wide receiver.
He is.
You don't finish a game at home in the playoffs with 1 catch. In a game which you were trailing the whole game. Cowboys fans, I know, oh my God. The call, the referee bumped into our player. Screwed us. He screwed us. You were down the whole game.
Yeah.
It took Jimmy G trying to let you win the game to even have a chance. Garoppolo played like crap in the 4th quarter, and they just started running the ball so they wouldn't have to deal with him. Jeez, Dallas, you had your opportunities. You failed to deliver. So I don't want to hear about referees. And you know what? CeeDee Lamb can get all the criticism that comes his way from Dallas fans and from Michael Irvin. He can get it from Troy Aikmen. You know why? Because those same guys were part of the winning Dallas Cowboys that took the 90s by storm. And they're tired of this narrative, America's team, look at us, we're great. And they can't even win
them Cowboys?
And they can't even win a playoff game. Can't even win a playoff game.
I know.
Maddie, fun fact. Trivia Thursday, let's say. What two teams in the NFC North and the NFC East have not made an NFC Championship appearance in the last 25 years?
I have no idea.
The Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Cowboys and Lions.
I think we're living in one of the cities.
Now look, I'm sorry. Look, I know Dallas has won division titles. They've won playoff games. I'm not, but damn it, you got to give me this. I'm allowed to talk shit, and I am allowed to give them grief. It is the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody likes them. And if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan watching the show, there's a clip on TikTok. My middle fingers are up. You can talk to me over there. Same amount of NFC title games in the last 27 years. And we've only made the playoffs 3 times in that span. And we haven't even won the division in that span. Unreal.
Dang.
Cowboys are a mess. They got a lot of things to figure out over there.
What do you do with the Cowboys, Jeff? Off-season.
You need... they need like a whole makeover. They need to get rid of some guys. They need a change, I think. I mean, there's so much talent on this team that the shortcomings that they do have, it's inexcusable. Like, if you have Super Bowl aspirations and you go into a game and you can't make halftime adjustments, in-game adjustments, when, number one, they're playing, what were they, 10 yards off of CeeDee Lamb. You were watching the game film and they were playing him off like 10 yards. You couldn't find ways to get him the ball, and when you did, it was poor execution, whatever the case may be. You blame Dak, you blame CD, whatever it is. They can't even make in-game adjustments. I mean, and that's Kellen Moore, yes, but at the same time, who's okaying these play calls? Who okayed the play call at the end of the game? Mike McCarthy. So there's too much for, I think, Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what fixes that. I mean, Dan Quinn's probably on his way out, so they're going to have to bring in new head coach, at least a defensive coordinator. So I don't know. I really don't. You have Dak. You're stuck with Dak. You're stuck with Ezekiel Elliott. You're stuck with Amari Cooper. Like,
Dallas, look, guys, Dallas has done a really good job, though, with their roster. The problem is, Jerry, he has a heart. He does have a heart. And he decided to pay Dak Prescott more than what he was worth. And he decided to pay Ezekiel Elliott more than what he was worth. And these are the consequences. Dak Prescott cannot win you football games. Let us be clear. He can win you some in the regular season against some bad teams, sure. He's not beating Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. He's not going to Lambeau in the postseason. He can't even win at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Stephen Jones has done a hell of a job assembling this roster. Jerry has held it back with the Dak re-signing and the Zeke re-signing. Tony Pollard is the more explosive back anyways, and to be honest, you can draft a back this year in the 3rd or 4th round, and I'm sure they will run the ball just fine.
But that's
Dearness Johnson in Cleveland could run the ball. Why? Because they have a good offensive line. Dallas, your offensive line is past its peak, but still good. You'll be able to move the ball. And yes, all you Michiganders, Jim Harbaugh, D-Mac, thank you. Honestly, you think Jim Harbaugh wants to stay at Michigan so he can win a Big Ten title once every 3-5 years? And get to a college football playoff every 3-5 years? And never win a national title because he doesn't have anywhere near the damn team that Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama will always have? What you think about that? Anybody? You know how Jim Harbaugh could have turned it all around and flipped all of college football on its head? Won a natty. If they would have won the natty this year, that would have set up Michigan for the next 4 to 5 years. And he would be staying, no questions asked.
Okay, but that's what he's trying to do.
Trying to do. Great. I try to cut my lawn. I don't do a good job at it, Fish. That does not mean I should be cutting my lawn just because I'm trying.
I realize that.
Michigan are trying to win a national championship? Really?
That's not the Harbaugh.
Really?
Yeah.
Their first Big Ten title since 2004.
Mm-hmm.
They can't even take care of their own conference and dominate their own conference.
I hear you. But all the Michigan fans saying, well, who do you replace him with, Adam?
Oh, we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get
but
to that.
my point is, when it comes to Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, you think him as a hyper competitor, he wants to stick around and be second fiddle to Ohio State in his own conference?
No, but this could be a stepping stone. Like now,
stepping stone to what?
To beating Ohio State next year, and the year after that, maybe actually winning a playoff.
Could be. Michigan does not recruit at the level that Ohio State, Georgia, most of the southern schools, Alabama, etc., now USC, Oklahoma, etc., etc. They don't. They don't. And with NIL in place, unless Michigan make a long-term commitment, good luck keeping Harbaugh. Good luck. 8:56. My goodness. Jeremy Reismen, Pride of Detroit.
Can't wait.
9 o'clock, coming soon. We have a few minutes before we get to that. I'm excited. First time talking to him. I would say I have those first interview.
He's a great follow on Twitter.
Oh
man.
yeah,
him and Corey.
The
man,
mustache is a thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if he actually rocks it to this day. I haven't seen him in person ever, so this is gonna be fun. We'll get him live video call in a few minutes. We'll wrap up with one more thing. I just have a quick question for everybody in the room. If you're Jim Harbaugh, you, Jeff, Maddie, Fish, Alex, the Raiders offer you a job. Michigan offers you the extension. The job in Vegas has a lot of player personnel control along with head coaching duties. Do you take the job, Jeff?
Honestly, it depends how much confidence Jim has in himself. To me, I don't have a problem, and this is just obviously everyone has their own personal opinion. I wouldn't have a problem. You stay at Michigan for a couple of years, you wait for a great opportunity, like solid roster and everything. You like the division, but if Jim is ready to go right now, then he wants to go right now. But if I was personally speaking, I'd probably just stay at Michigan as of right now. I don't know if the Raiders would entice me to leave and go to the NFL, but for Jim, that could be what he wants. So again, for me, no. But.
Maddie?
I am with Jeff. I say no as well. I don't think, one, he really wants to leave Michigan. Is there opportunity for him to go? Absolutely. And I think that we all know he's a great coach, and he has more potential, I think, than the Raiders. I think that's kind of a low ball for him with the roster that they have. And you look at Michigan and you look at the Raiders, and it's like, well, he might as well stay at Michigan if he loves Michigan, and he's said that a million times. So if he actually gets the extension and they're offering him something good, I don't see him leaving.
Yeah, but every single coach is going to say they like the school they're at or the team they're at.
We'll have to wait and see. We're going to have to break. When do we
Brian
get back?
Kelly said the same thing about Notre Dame and then flip-flop.
Shut
Family,
the hell up, Fish.
LSU now.
I love you. We got to go to break. When we get back, Jeremy Reismen from Pride of Detroit joins the morning show. He is the Detroit Lions beat writer and editor-in-chief for Pride of Detroit. So excited to chat with him. Maddie, what do we got before we have to go to break?
We are talking about MyBookie.
Ooh, MyBookie, guys, the premier place to be placing your sports bets. Bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie, and use code Woodward today, and they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar. You put in $100, they'll match you $100. You put in $200, they'll match you with a $200 free bonus. Take advantage of the offer today. Again, use code Woodward. And don't forget, if you do have a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Live from Woodward Avenue. That's why we're called Woodward Sports. Detroit's real sports network.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. We've got a special guest joining us here now.
Good morning, Jeremy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you all doing?
I love the background.
Let's go!
I was not expecting it. Do you have like a green screen set up at home?
I do, yeah. For our own little live broadcast that we do, full green screen. I could change the background. I don't have really anything set up right now that I could change it to, but I think this is appropriate for the segment.
All
we're
right.
doing
First
here.
of all, compliments on the mustache.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Thank you.
I do love it.
Very popular.
I lost a bet. I want to say Thanksgiving time this year. I bet that the Lions would win on Thanksgiving, and I had to do a very similar thing. I shaved everything except my mustache. I feel like I lost my manhood, but after like a day or two, I kind of started to dig it, and I see why you rock it. It's actually a good look, man.
He kind of kept it for a while too. Actually, he kind of kept it for a minute.
Yeah. I expected it to be more polarizing than it actually was. I kind of started it during the whole quarantine thing, and then we actually kind of turned it into a fundraising thing every No Shave November. We raised $20,000 with.
Wow,
I don't want to give
amazing.
full credit to the mustache, but it definitely helps because people seem to enjoy it for whatever reason.
The mustache has power. Look, my wife told me she wouldn't do not a damn thing with me if I shaved my whole face. Lies. All right, mustache has powers. But anyways, Jeremy, I do want to start with Matthew Stafford. You're a great follow on Twitter, guys. Give Jeremy a follow on Twitter if you haven't already. But Matthew Stafford, has he shown that Detroit failed to build not only a roster but an organization, a front office, and a head coach around him that can give you the type of success he's had in Los Angeles? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think the Lions probably proved that over the 12 years he was here. But yeah, you throw him in the Rams in his first year, he basically sets career high numbers across the board, wins his division, which, we have to talk about the NFC West, right? Probably the best division in football this year. He won out and won it pretty handily, and yeah, goes and gets a playoff win. Now, I'm not going to say, one season proves everything wrong. No, not at all, but the main prevailing thought while Matthew Stafford was here was he was a really, really good quarterback who needed a better supporting cast, and he got it. He got a good defense in Los Angeles. He got a running game in Los Angeles, and the results kind of speak for themselves. He's a guy that isn't a perfect quarterback. He isn't the elite tier guy like Aaron Rodgers who will win the division every single year, regardless of whether he has a defense or a running game. But he's the tier where if you get a supporting cast around him, he's dangerous. And the Los Angeles Rams are dangerous this year. Definitely a Super Bowl contending team. Will they win it? We'll see. But I think he's more than proven really throughout I don't think one playoff game proved it. I think the entire season really proved what he's capable of with a full supporting cast around him.
Absolutely. Do Stafford critics have anything left to hold against Stafford now that he's won the division and won a playoff game, Jeremy? It's something that blows my mind that I even have to have this discussion to this day, because that was always the knock, and I'm so glad you brought this up. Yes, he's not Aaron Rodgers. Nobody said he was. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not that tier one upper echelon of quarterback. And the only way you get there is by winning Super Bowls, winning divisions over a long period of time. This is Stafford's first year out of Detroit. He's already checked off two boxes the team hasn't checked off since 93 and 91. What left is there to criticize Stafford about?
Well, I think it is that exact thing. Can he be that elite tier guy? And, as much as Matthew Stafford was, a potential to leading the Lions to that next level, there's still reasonable questions as to whether he can be a Super Bowl winning quarterback and whether he can reach that elite tier. Because as much as this city is desperate for that playoff win, that division title, ultimately you need a quarterback who's going to win your Super Bowl, because eventually those goalposts are going to move, and people who aren't supporters of Stafford haters, whatever you want to call them, they're already starting to move the goalposts, and I can understand that, because the goal here was always to win a Super Bowl, and whether he's capable of doing that is a big question. And unfortunately for him, he's got to go through two behemoths in the playoffs here in Tom Brady next week, and most likely if he gets through Tom Brady, probably is going to face Aaron Rodgers again. So it's not going to be an easy task for him, but like you said, this is year one, so expecting him to check off all those boxes in year one might be a little high expectations for him, but at the same time, he's got a really good supporting cast around him. He's got a good defense, and that's really going to set the bar high for him. You know, the Rams didn't trade for him to win in the wild card round. They traded for him to be a Super Bowl contender, and who knows how long that window is going to stay open for the Rams. So he's got to prove something pretty darn quickly. Otherwise, those Stafford kind of haters are still going to stick around. And I guess I understand why, because ultimately the standard is very high for a guy like Matthew Stafford. When you get traded for, you know, a couple first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a quarterback to acquire a guy like him, you have to prove it. And he has his ups and downs this year, right? I think he threw his most interceptions since his rookie season. So it wasn't a perfect season for him, and he can prove a lot of doubters wrong if he can make some more noise in the playoffs. But one wild card round win over the Cardinals, a team that the Lions beat pretty handily. And if you look at Jared Goff's stats with the Lions against the Cardinals, they're actually kind of remarkably similar to what Stafford did last week. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from what Stafford did. He played basically a perfect game in that game. But ultimately, if you're a quarterback, you're going to be judged by more than just one playoff win. And so he's going to have to do more to prove other people wrong, and I can understand that.
And I think that's the whole point, right? So in the context of Detroit, I think this is a done deal. It's a closed book. That's it. We said the critic was always he couldn't win a division in Detroit. He was part of the problem. He couldn't win a division. Even when he leaves, he won't be able to do either. That's done. Now, if we're talking about the Rams and their expectations, of course they have Super Bowl expectations. Sean McVay's the head coach. Les Snead, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Now Matthew Stafford. You gave up 2 first-round picks for that guy. Like, yes, they have Super Bowl expectations, but that's not in the context of what we're doing here. This is a Detroit sports show. This is Detroit. We're talking about the Lions. And in the context of the Lions, Stafford has shown that for the 12 years he was the quarterback of this football team, the team did fail to deliver a B plus GM, a B plus head coach, and even I would argue an A minus roster. Now, 2014, I think we can all agree was a very good roster, totally under-delivered. Sure, fair point. But is Jim Caldwell a Hall of Fame coach? Is Jim Schwartz a Hall of Fame coach? Matt Patricia? Hell no. Like, we kind of lose sight of football is a team sport, and. Right. Yes, Stafford's walking into McVay. Like, he should be winning in the wild card at home. He should be winning that game. That's the point, though. Is when will the Lions ever pursue or do something similar to what the Rams are doing?
Yeah.
The question never was, is Stafford a tier 1 quarterback? No, of course not. He's not. He hasn't proven it. That's not even a question. But did Detroit fail him? I think that's clear and obvious now that it was more so Detroit than it ever was Stafford.
Yeah, I agree with that, and like you said, the Lions never did it consistently. The 2014 team is definitely a good example of as close as they got, and I would argue that Jim Caldwell would be a B coach, but I think the real point is just there was never a defense there, and you look at any team in the playoff right now, like all of them have an improved defense, a top half defense. I like to point to Aaron Rodgers a lot as a guy who, I mean, we can all agree, future Hall of Fame quarterback. The guy is 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 in conference championship games. He's been to 1 Super Bowl. And the reason for that? Packers haven't done a great job building a team around him. Yeah. And that just goes to show you how much of a complementary game it is. You can have one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and it'll only get you to the Super Bowl once if you don't bother building a team around him. So, yeah, of course, Stafford, who's not at his level, is not going to get this team beyond a wild card round in Detroit because they didn't even come close to building a team around.
All right, let's move off of Stafford for a little bit. Jeremy, I want you to talk through your experiences year 1 covering this football team, Dan Campbell, and really talk us through like years past, what it's been like under Matt Patricia. How is the organization? How are they much more organized, functional? What's the culture? Culture's a big word thrown around the city right now, especially with the football team. What are the significant changes you've seen that give you optimism heading forward with the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think year 1, there's always going to be optimism surrounding an organization, and we certainly saw that after Matt Patricia's first year. There were certainly bumps in the road in Matt Patricia that we didn't necessarily see this year, but I like to go back in that first year because it's kind of incredible how much optimism there are surrounding a 3-13-1 team right now. We run polls every month, and basically everyone is in the 95, 96, 97% approval rating right now in that front office and the coaching staff. Everyone is beloved. And Was it that way under, the previous regime? A little bit. They finished that 2018 season strong, so there was certainly optimism going into 2019, and the bar was certainly higher since they were coming off a 9-7 season beforehand under Caldwell. But I will say it's tough to compare both regimes a little bit because we had more access during the Matt Patricia years. With COVID and everything, we get to be in the locker room. You kind of get a better sense of what everyone is feeling. But there are a couple things that stick out to me that are really kind of shining examples of how much of a healthier culture there is. And one of the times that we do kind of get an in-depth look at what this team is feeling like is when they walk off of practice. That's something that we still get to see, is kind of the mentality, how they're feeling after practice. Under Matt Patricia, they looked exhausted, they looked beat up, they did not look happy. They, head down, not even acknowledging that the media is there, not even smiling at, just like basically trudging off the field as quickly as possible. And with the new regime, with Dan Campbell, it's all smiles. They're all having fun, they're chatting with each other, and that can be a positive or a negative thing, right? I'm of the belief when you have a positive environment in your workplace, you're going to do a better job. You guys have a tough job, right? You had a midnight game with the Pistons, and you had to come in here at 6 a.m. and start talking about it. Are you going to do a better job if you love your job and you're all smiles, you love what you're doing? Of course you're going to be doing a better job. So when these guys are just under Matt Patricia, just dogging it, just did not seem to be enjoying what they're doing, and he had some ridiculous rules when it came to social media. These guys couldn't really be themselves, whereas I feel like every single person on this Lions team is not afraid of doing anything, of being themselves, of saying something to the media. And listen, like I said, positive is negative, because I already know what the criticism is going to be, is that it's the same thing it was under Jim Caldwell, is you're not holding anybody accountable, you're not pushing these guys as hard as they need to be, you're basically coddling them. But to me, I don't even think that's necessarily true. I mean, you ask Jamie Collins if they're coddling this team, if they're not holding anybody accountable. He's gone, right? And you look at Aubrey Pleasant, a guy who in the first week of the season is getting chewed out by the media because he's too hard on his players. He's yelling and screaming at his players. No, that is still there, but they have just kind of cut through all the rules that don't matter. Like, you're not allowed to be on social media. There's no ping pong tables in the locker room. All these kind of silly stuff that I feel like was only brought in to kind of have this authoritative attitude where I'm the coach, you have to listen to me. Whereas you have all these former players on the coaching staff now, and they all understand the grind. They know when to pull back. They know when to push forward. They really seem to know how to individually motivate their guys, and I think that's something that you can really be positive for going forward.
Absolutely. Jeremy, before we let you go, I do have one personal question on the side note. Kind of walk me through, one, your favorite Lions moment, and number two, year two, Motor City Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes. Kind of walk me through your expectations for the offseason and really just the vibe I think everybody shares, at least in the fan base heading into the offseason. Look, it's easy after the season is over and you're not watching the team lose 13 games to feel better about it. But still, I think there's a clear difference, year one of Dan Campbell ending versus the last year of Matt Patricia.
Yeah, no question. I'll start with my favorite Lions memory, and I'll take you all the way back to 2011. I wasn't really covering the team back then, but I think one of the unique experiences Lions fans should try to do at least once in their career is go visit a road game. Go see the Lions on the road. I was fortunate enough to do so in 2011 in Oakland against the Oakland Raiders, and of course 2011 was the year where the Lions finally broke their playoff drought. And to see that Lions-Raiders game, it was an insane game. I think Matthew Stafford led a game-winning drive with like 90 yards to go late in the game, and then Ndamukong Suh blocks a field goal. But me and my buddies had a ridiculous idea to go there and get seats in the black hole. And it was an absolutely insane experience. And it was scary at times. Like, walking into that stadium, we were getting stuff thrown at us. After the game, like, we made sure we did not leave our seats. We wanted everyone else to leave first and then leave, because we were afraid. Like, we were all wearing Lions jerseys and everything.
Get escorted out.
Yeah, exactly. But it was definitely one of the most ridiculous and pleasurable experiences, because that was the win right before they clinched against the Chargers the next week. So it was a huge game for both teams, kind of a crazy finish, and yeah, maybe a decision that we probably shouldn't have made, but we ended up getting home safe. As for optimism about the Lions going forward, I think it starts there with the coaching staff. one guy that I think you can look to last year's end-of-season press conference compared to this year is Tracy Walker. And who knows if Tracy Walker is going to be part of the team next year or not, but certainly seems like it might be trending in that direction. He was a guy that was just absolutely distraught by the coaching staff last year, and he had a lot of personal things he was going through too, first-time dad, and the thing with his cousin Ahmed Arbery. But he basically more or less said that he did not believe that the coaching staff was using him the right way, and he couldn't speak more highly of this coaching staff now. Aaron Glenn, I think, is a superstar, and as a fan, I'm hoping that he doesn't go anywhere this year.
Right.
It seems like the Broncos are at least a little bit interested in him, but that may have faded by now. I just think it's a superstar coaching staff. I really think they know how to motivate their guys, and I think we can all agree that year one expectations weren't that high. They were trying to build that foundation. They were trying to develop some of their younger players, and I mean, this team finished 3-3 down the stretch. Jared Goff was 3-1 in his final 4 starts. That has to be somewhere where you can begin the optimism, begin to see that the offense is starting to catch on late in the year. The defense made some big improvements too, despite a bunch of injuries. And so now they have a lot of free agency resources. They got a ton of draft resources, and you got to hope that once they start building those guys, the roster up and getting some of those blue chip guys, that this team could really, if they can develop all these UDFAs, all these late round draft picks, all these guys that basically were discarded by other teams and they scoop up in free agency, if they can develop those guys, imagine what they can do with all the draft resources that they have coming up. And so I think that to me is probably the biggest reason for optimism going forward.
Absolutely. Jeremy, thank you so much. I do want to mention one more thing. I think the turning point, especially with me, I mean, I'm sure I'm quite the critic. And people,
I've heard such things.
Mr. Hot Take, the alleged Mr. Hot Take. But I will say, when Campbell made the decision to demote Anthony Lynn, take over play calling, one, that was such a leadership move. I mean, the respect I gained for Dan Campbell just for making the decision, 10 out of 10. And the fact that they actually got better on offense made me so much more comfortable. And look, I'm not a guy that just gives blinding trust to anybody that walks in the door. I'm 27 years old. I haven't seen any winning football. Like, excuse me that I ask questions. So here I am, and now I'm at the end of the season. I'm not saying he's the next Sean Payton, Bill Belichick, Sean McVay, but you know what? I haven't identified his ceiling. And the fact that I haven't means I'm willing to see more of it. With Jim Caldwell, I saw his peak. Jim Schwartz saw his peak. Pat Patricia never had a peak, but you kind of get the point. So Here we are. I totally agree. The feeling going into the offseason is totally different. Jeremy, I really enjoyed having you on. Thank you so much. Would love to have you on anytime, man.
Sure. Yeah, appreciate it, Adam. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Everybody, that's Jeremy Reismen. Give him a follow. Pride of Detroit Lions beat writer and editor-in-chief for the Pride of Detroit. That's such a tongue twister. It gets me every time. Maddie, we got to go to break. When we get back, what do we got listed? All right. Players under the most pressure heading into the divisional round. I'm excited for it. But before we go, Maddie, what do I have to do?
We're talking about Planet Fitness.
Ooh, Planet Fitness. Ladies and gentlemen, I've changed my life around over the last month and a half. Not really. I'm still getting it together. Life is nowhere near perfect, but been going to the gym every morning, and let me tell you, it feels amazing. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Right now, for $0 down, $10 a month, you can join the Planet Fitness Club. Guys, I encourage all of you to take your physical and mental health very seriously in 2022, and there's no better way to start than by going to Planet Fitness, getting your physical health together, and not having to worry about being judged while you're working out at the gym. I encourage all of you, visit planetfitness.com. We'll see you right after the break.
Hi, I'm Cade Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Guys, the NFL divisional round is ahead of us. Which player do we think is under the most pressure this weekend?
Ooh, Jeff.
I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers, and multiple reasons. Legacy. Listen, if he wins a Super Bowl, I think Aaron Rodgers solidifies himself as a top 5, top 4 quarterback. Right now, one Super Bowl, as talented as he is, you'd expect him to get more. He's been in the NFC Championship pretty much every damn year. So with that being said, I think it's Aaron Rodgers. And history matters as well. Don't get that twisted. Who's his kryptonite, Fish? Who do you think in the playoffs?
Who, Aaron Rodgers?
Who's his kryptonite? Take a guess.
Oh, I don't know. Matthew Stafford.
Well, also the team he's facing this weekend, the 49ers, because guess what? 0-3 against the 49ers in the playoffs. So not only is he under more pressure, he's facing a team he hasn't beaten in the playoffs yet, Fish. So that's pressure to me. And considering almost he had an identical season last year, like he won MVP, he's going to win MVP this year, had pretty much the same year statistically last year, won MVP, went all the way to the NFC Championship game and lost to Tom Brady at home in Lambeau Field the year that, we expected that was, Tom Brady's team last year, all healthy, of course, but this is the year. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't as healthy. People have questions about the Rams, obviously. So with the Packers, not only are you the favorite to make it out of the NFC, this is the year to do it. And it's possibly the last dance with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. So to me, for legacy, for history, narrative, it's Aaron Rodgers to me. And that's probably, honestly, by far. You could add other guys in there, maybe Matthew. Matthew already won a playoff game. So
thank you. I'm so glad you brought that up. And I'm glad you said Aaron Rodgers because he is under.
Wait till Monday. That goalpost.
We talk.
Shifting.
Well, no. Last guys, take a deep breath. Monday the conversation was if Matthew Stafford loses, not only is that a disaster for the Rams because they gave up 2 first-round picks, but that is a real bad look for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Really bad. You can't lose the first one. Now, if he loses to Tom Brady on the road, they're going to be underdogs.
Yeah.
Like. How he loses, maybe it matters. To me, it doesn't matter in the context of Detroit. Now, the Rams have Super Bowl expectations. Good for them. They can figure that out. They can complain about it. Not my business. Having said that, 0-3 against the Niners in the playoffs. 2 of those losses coming against Jim Harbaugh, by the way. Just had to throw that in there. But Aaron Rodgers, you're coming off the bye week. This is same pressure as Stafford last week, basically. No one-and-done stuff. You can't be one and done with a bye week, playing that good all year, being the MVP. No. You win that game, you go to Lambeau, you host an NFC title game. Aaron, it's time to get back to the Super Bowl. You've had back-to-back NFC title game appearances under Matt LaFleur. He has helped give you the opportunity to get back to the big game. In one of the games you didn't show up. In the most recent one, you kind of did. Aaron's got to step up. Aaron's got to be the reason why they're playing in Lambeau next week and why they are potentially playing in Los Angeles a few weeks from now. That is the pressure Aaron is under. Brady's under no pressure. What pressure is Brady under? He delivered already in Tampa.
The guy's defining all odds
He's just
right now.
blowing my mind at this point. He makes no sense to me. He makes no sense. Brady doesn't make any sense.
Can I tell you about Tom Brady? I guarantee you, in his mind, realistically, he's not going to do it. But in his mind, he wants to win 10.
Of course he does. He's that. You don't win 7. Not thinking about winning.
No,
like, he is a different athlete competitor, man.
Deflating balls. Like, he wants to win. He wants to win.
Oh, don't you dare.
What?
Are you one of those Deflategate people?
Well, I'm not. It's not like a Deflategate. I look at, everything that that did with the Patriots, I don't necessarily look at it as a flack. I think it's just their ability to want to win, and I don't have a problem with it.
And they don't mind pushing the gray lines.
You want to videotape someone's practice?
I just want to make sure because both teams played with the deflated balls. It's not like it was one team, not the other.
Anyway.
So the Colts admitted that day they got their butts kicked. Their deflated balls, beach balls didn't matter. They were going to lose that game. They are openly. They have been openly admitted about it, or whatever the hell the word is.
I got no problem with it. I mean, the guy wants to win.
Anyways, beyond the point. Brady's not under pressure.
No.
Stafford, is he under pressure? Really? He's going up against the greatest quarterback of our lifetime.
He's under pressure from Lions fans, I'll tell you that.
He's going up against the greatest quarterback in NFL history on the road.
And
Matthew Stafford in road games in the playoffs. Fun fact, 0-3. Granted, all with the Lions, but, good luck. They're going to be underdogs.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers should win the game.
They should. Yes.
That does not take away from the Bucs if they lose or if they win. That doesn't take away from the Rams if they do or they don't win. So the pressure is all on Aaron, and it's not even close.
Do we think Josh Allen and the Bills have any pressure coming off a game like they played last weekend?
They're playing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't think either team is under pressure.
Sure.
Or quarterback is under pressure. That's a AFC title game matchup.
Yeah.
It's just happening in the divisional round.
Well, the only reason I say that is because of the game that they played last weekend.
I honestly...
They got to an AFC title game last year. I mean, if I'm a Bills fan...
I think there's a little pressure on
I'm
Bills.
seeing progress. Really?
Because this is why.
Pressure how?
If you're the Bills, and we'll talk about Sean McDermott, what are they trying to build? Who do they want to beat?
A Super Bowl roster.
But who do they want to beat?
They want to beat the Chiefs, who knocked them out in the AFC title game last year. Okay,
They've been
I
wouldn't say kryptonite, but that's who they're competitive. Josh Allen. Are you Patrick Mahomes? Are you Josh Allen? I think this weekend, and although you're right, I mean, if you lose to the Chiefs, I mean, listen, what are you going to do? But the Bills, I think, are under a little more pressure because they want to make that hump. They want to jump the hump. They want to get over the Bills. So, but yeah, realistically, though, if we're talking real pressure, neither team. I mean,
the
it's
Chiefs
Aaron
aren't under
Rodgers.
pressure.
Sure. No.
They've been to 3 straight AFC title games.
Yeah, and the Bills are contenders.
Their fans should be at their knees praising the football team. The hell?
Yeah, I know.
I'll be outside Ford Field naked, painted in blue, withdrawing all the money in my account and handing it to the Lions the day they go to 3 straight NFC title games.
Oh, okay.
They don't need it.
I would offer my services, my life.
I don't
Keep
want
it in the archive somewhere.
I don't want to see that.
So
but
the Chiefs aren't under pressure.
No.
I'll go along with the Josh Allen narrative. I actually kind of don't mind that. I think there is something, hey, get over the hump. The Chiefs have given us problems. Let's beat them, show we can get there.
Yeah.
But if they get there, they should be the favorites automatically. The winner of that game is the automatic favorite going into the AFC title
100%.
game.
Yeah.
Even on the road, whether it's against Tennessee
Bengals
or
or
they'll
Titans.
host it against Cincinnati, depending who wins that game. Joe Burrow's not under pressure. Mike Vrabel, he's under pressure. Ryan Tannehill's his quarterback. The pressure, for me, in all of the NFL divisional round solely falls on the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers. And I'll spoil next week. In the AFC and NFC title game, who will be under the most pressure? If it's the Bucks versus the Rams, or excuse me, the Bucks versus the Packers, Rodgers will be under the most pressure. Can he avenge last season? If it's Packers versus Rams, will Aaron Rodgers finally get to the Super Bowl? That is the narrative. If it's Rams-Niners, can Sean McVay beat Kyle Shanahan? Mm-hmm. In the AFC, it's always going to be what? If Josh Allen wins this week, it'll be his pressure and his pressure alone. If the Chiefs win, no pressure. We're fourth straight AFC title game. We win, we're happy. We lose, like, holy crap, we've been on a run. Pressure's all on Aaron Rodgers moving forward, in my opinion, and clearly Jeff's, which I actually do agree with. Maddie, you know what? Let's head to break real quick. When we get back, let's talk about Bruce Arians going after people's heads.
Oh, yeah.
That made headlines. He's actually appealing it. Yeah. So let's head to break, and when we get back, we'll talk about that.
Perfect. Sounds wonderful. But first, we have to talk about the Fulling Warehouse.
Fulling Warehouse. Awesome. Well, home of the original football bowling pin called Fulling. Host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with family and friends. There are 2 ways to play, $10 unlimited open play, or a private lane reservation for $120, up to 10 people for 2 hours. We have over 100 beers, $2 Mystic Beer Machine, and multiple bars throughout the facility. Bring in your own food or have it catered. Guys, Fulling Warehouse is an absolute blast. Visit FullingWarehouse.com. That's FullingWarehouse.com.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, joint.
It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. Guys, make sure you're following us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. Downloading our app on Google Play and Spotify. You can download our podcast on Spotify, but you can download the app in Apple. You can also download the podcast on Apple, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Guys, Bruce Arians fined $50,000 for striking a player on the helmet.
All right. I am going to throw this back at you. Are you okay with what he did or no?
I don't think so.
You don't? That's not really an answer. What, do you think he was justified? I didn't understand why he did it, to be honest. I watched back the video multiple times.
I did. If you're watching the play, there's a pile up, and I don't know who the safety is.
But it wasn't a scuffle. It was 26.
Yes, it was Adams, the safety. He went to pull somebody off the pile. It looked like an Eagles player, and Bruce saw he was trying to pull someone off the pile. I don't know why. Bruce jumped over, ran the fastest I've ever seen this man run, and did like a jumping karate chop to his, I don't know what, his little slap in the helmet, and he kind of bumped him in the shoulder, but it was to prevent a penalty. So I get, it depends on intent. Is Bruce Arians, does he want to go and hurt the guy? No. I mean, if anyone's ever been coached hard in their entire life, you play football, you understand coaches, they grab your helmets, they're physical, but Bruce Arians in the NFL, you can't do that to a grown man. We understand that. These guys have mortgages, and they're grown-ass men, and you're going to try and slap them beside the head. Listen, in this situation, I get it, but again, it's the NFL trying to protect nowadays, especially the players. Look at back then, 10, 15 years ago, if Bruce Arians did this, you think he'd be fined $50,000? No, he wouldn't. So now it's just it's the time of the age it is. I don't blame Bruce Arians for it. I mean, I don't think he's a bad guy. I mean, if it's a 9-year-old coach coming up and tapping a 20, we'll just say average age in the NFL, 28 years old, whatever it is, 27, slapping a guy in the helmet. I mean, it is what it is. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's such a big moment the Bucs have. Yes, it's the Eagles, and yes, they're destroying them, but you can't risk a penalty, especially at all. So I don't have a problem with it.
In Bruce Arians' defense, Coach Moran, if you're listening, my high school football coach, we ran a play in practice all week that we felt could be a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and this was post my ACL injury, so I was extremely crippled. Basically, I was limited in what I could do and couldn't do. And we kept running the play in practice, and one of the times pressure got through way quicker than expected, and I scrambled, but I was not athletic given the brace I had on my knee. But the point was, I made the stupid decision of throwing the ball up in the air towards the wide receiver.
Uh-oh.
And my coach came up to me and screamed Bloody Mary in my face and smacked that living crap out of my helmet multiple times in frustration. And that doesn't mean he's trying to hurt me or abuse me or be mean to me. But that's coaching.
Yeah.
Now, in Bruce Arians' case, I really don't understand what the deal was. That seemed a bit excessive to me. But I don't know, my quarterback making a dumb decision to throw the ball up in the air to the sideline and probably double coverage. Yeah, I expect my coach to hit me in the head. Sorry.
But to sprint over there and
it was a bit much.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Running,
it was
jumping.
Very, very much of an overreaction, in my opinion. Was it necessary? No.
Has Davis?
Could he have done it on
excuse me, not
sideline?
Davis.
Sure.
Has Adams commented on the situation?
I don't think so. I don't think the players look at it as a big of a deal. You know what I mean? I don't
well, he
think
got
Adams,
fined $50K and he appealed it.
You think Adams after the hit was just
No, look, these are grown adults, and look, I don't think any adult wants to be treated or hit that way.
No.
So, I know Braylon was extremely heated about it yesterday, and if I'm a player, I don't want to be treated like that.
No,
unless there's a really damn good reason.
This ain't college, but or high school.
Damn, to do that, walk up randomly. I didn't like it. I don't think it's good optics. I don't think it's a good look. I don't like anything about it. Having said that, as a former player that likes to be coached extremely hard because I feel it gets the most out of me, I never minded my head coach, offensive coordinator, grilling me in my ears if I didn't get the team set quickly enough, if I didn't read the defense correctly, if we're watching back film and he chews me out. I always accepted that kind of coaching because I felt it was making me better. But that didn't seem like coaching. That just seemed boiled over frustration of his play. Yeah, I didn't understand what Bruce Arians was doing there.
For me, because I do understand being coached hard like that and whatever, but when it comes down to it, when's the last time we've seen him do that?
Never.
Exactly.
So that's his first.
The point.
Yeah, so you got to maybe give him benefit of the doubt. Like, is this guy throwing hands at everybody in practice? Probably
Maybe.
not. Maybe. but do you think he would have that locker room?
Exactly.
But do you think more coaches do this that are on the field, maybe in practice?
Oh, sure,
of
for
course.
sure.
So it's
if
something
I'm
it
a
just
head
boiled
coach,
over. It just
oh my
boiled
God,
over.
if I'm Sean McVay, and in practice, we have a specific play that goes against their common coverage, and Stafford throws an interception knowing what the coverage is, I am going to walk up to him and grab him by the helmet. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, right.
We know what the coverage is. We identified it, and you still threw it into the area that we're not supposed to. Like, as a coach, you get... I don't mind that. But the hitting, that was...
And I get Braylon's point, too. Like, these are grown men. I get it. Like, you don't want to... if you're 20... Like, I looked it up. Anthony Adams is 29 years old. Like, if you're 29 or you're Braylon's age, it doesn't matter. Like, if you get smacked in the face, even if it's tap on the helmet, like, I can get it's disrespectful. And a lot of guys would probably say something back to the head coach. But at the end of the day, like, it depends who you are.
So we had this thing with Izzo last year, didn't we?
We did. Yep. Shoot out
the player walking into like,
can't
guys,
remember who it was.
You know what? They're with each other every day. They have some level of respect for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if I walk into the back room after the show and I get in Jeff's face and tell him he did this wrong, or he comes up to me and tells me the same thing, what am I going to be mad? I work with him every day.
Yeah.
We need to get better every single day.
You'd get mad at me.
You're different. I will kill you by the end of the show. I promise.
Okay, got it.
At some point, before I am removed from this show, you're going down with me. I will not go down without you.
Okay.
Me and you are going to hell together.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Does that sound good?
Sounds fine.
I think it's a great trip. Better than Australia.
You're going to have to go to bed, though, and wake up at 11 p.m. to watch a tennis match.
Yeah.
Montana News.
And then go back to bed and wake up again at 3.
You gotta watch tennis. I'll be doing that Sunday, too. Getting up early and doing
Fish,
life.
I honestly, sometimes I am jealous of the life you live. I really am.
Well, it's not... You want me to tell you how I do it? It's not very hard. Go to bed at 9 a.m., get up at midnight-ish. 9 p.m., sorry.
Okay.
9 p.m., get up at midnight, go back to bed at 3-ish, 4-ish. Sunday to be 4 because of sumo, but yeah. So it's not very hard.
Got to make time for sumo.
Oh, yeah.
You have to.
Last day 15.
I
love it, man. It's pretty simple.
Fish, will you switch lives with me? Let me go live with your parents. You go live with my wife. Just give me a week.
Fish,
take over my job.
I wouldn't trust Fish with
Take
your
over
wife.
all my responsibilities. Just for 1 week.
I have to do all your stuff. Oh, boy.
Fish is he's a smooth criminal. I wouldn't trust him with your wife, Adam.
Now, you can do whatever you want.
You're like, I'm
Give
giving
me
you
1
permission.
week stress-free, living Fish's life, watching sumo at 3 in the morning.
Well, that would be great.
Yeah, but you also got to run camera for basketball, too, so good
That's
luck.
fine,
or
that's fine.
audio or whatever.
I don't mind.
Okay.
Getting back on topic for 1 minute, because I did want to bring this point up with this one. They work together every day, yes. Doing this to the wrong player would be detrimental. Picture that happening to Antonio Brown.
That would have been a disaster. Well, because Antonio Brown's character is to explode.
Yep.
Like, honestly, if let's say I'm a receiver, running back, O-lineman, I'm someone other than the quarterback. If Bruce Arians goes up and chews out Tom Brady, boy, does that make me feel good.
He chews Tom out.
And you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. And that's what, me and my coach used to talk about this all the time. Like, okay, I'm the standard on the team. Cool. Everyone has to follow me. Cool.
Mhm.
All the practices, all the down-ups, all that stuff. Great. You have to coach me harder than anybody.
Yeah.
And he did. So then when I'm getting chewed out, I go for 3-4 touchdowns in the game. Doesn't matter. I'm doing something wrong in film. I'm getting chewed out. So then when someone else, the O-lineman who didn't pull enough, right? Or the receiver that ran the wrong route, when they get chewed out, they are willing to accept that coaching and that criticism because, the quarterback's getting it. The best players on the team are getting it. That makes sense. All right, we're all on the same level playing field here. That's all it is.
Sure.
Yeah. I respect that.
We got to go to break.
Yes, we do.
Almost mailbag time. I can't wait for questions.
All right, guys, when we come back, we're revisiting the Jim Harbaugh situation, but this time we're talking about potential replacements. Stick around. We'll see you guys soon.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. If Jim Harbaugh leaves, who do we think will replace him?
Oof, that's a tough one. It's a long list.
All right, who will replace him that's on the Michigan coaching staff? I think it's between Mike McDonald, who I don't think is even a recruiter. Is he capable of recruiting on the road? And
Yes.
Mike Hart.
Oh,
Mike
okay.
Hart's the name that is circled around all the time. But I think whoever they hire after will be a disaster. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Michigan, you will fall into the gutter for good 2-3 years before you get it right. Get ready. Now, if you want to be cavalierish, you want to make a splash, you want to get a proven successful college coach that's not a Michigan man, that's currently in the NFL, go get Matt Rule.
Yeah.
He built Baylor. Built Baylor into a pretty damn respectable program. He leaves. They win the Big 12. And there was a damn good coach that followed him. I like Matt Rule at Michigan. And look, I know you guys are saying, well, no, we need the Michigan man, Josh Gaddis, whoever it may be. Look, I think if you hire internally, whatever happens, you will be a 6-7 win team for the next 3 years. I think you will regress if Harbaugh leaves. Your first hire will not be the hire that gets it right. And I think you got to get over this. We need to hire a Michigan man. Someone who understands our program. Just bring in guys that can win. Bring in guys that can win. Matt Rule is the definition of Baylor. No, who cares? What? Nick Saban made Alabama. You don't need to hire somebody with program ties. The hell was Alabama before Nick Saban? They hadn't won a natty in, 40, 50 years?
Yeah.
Dude wins them 6 or 7 so far. Unbelievable. Unreal. Kirby Smart in Georgia. Just get the right guy, the enthusiastic recruiter who can put in work. Mike Hart will do well at Michigan. I don't know, Matt. I don't know. I really don't.
I think he would.
And when you guys say, excuse me, Jeff,
No, you're
sorry. When the Michigan man ideally has worked, no, that's not true. How'd it go? Remember the Michigan men you hired outside of Rich Rod. Remember. Don't forget your history. Jim Harbaugh is not just a Michigan man. He is a hyper-successful head coach. Stanford, the NFL, Michigan now. That's a hyper-successful coach. Rich Rod didn't have that resume. I forget the name of the one after him. Brady Hoke was not Jim Harbaugh. None of them were. So Michigan, you know what? I love this comment by Steven. Michigan needs to evolve. If they keep on with this Michigan man crap, all they're ever doing is getting in their own way of being the best. Thank you. I am so happy we have people that see past this Michigan man thing. If Urban Meyer was willing to take the job, which he wouldn't, but if he was willing, you offer the goddamn house to get Urban Meyer. I could argue the second or third greatest college football coach ever. You get him. You get him.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. And I don't think Michigan, if Harbaugh leaves, make the first hire the correct hire. I think they regress. I really do. I don't see how post Jim Harbaugh they are going to compete with Michigan State and Mel Tucker, Ryan Day and Ohio State, or even Franklin and Penn State, Iowa. Like, they're going to have to always play these teams. And who's the guy they're going to bring in that can keep them at the level Harbaugh has them at right now? Good luck. Took 7 years for Harbaugh to deliver. The hell's it going to take somebody not at the level of Harbaugh in terms of recruiting and coaching ability? Tell me. Post Harbaugh is extremely scary.
I agree with you 100%. It's funny you brought up Matt Rule because that was actually who I had written down.
Really?
Yeah, Matt Rule.
Wow.
That was my pick because, and I agree with everything you said. It's not about the Michigan man attitude. It's about having a splash. And Matt Rule, to me, resume speaks for itself. He has NFL experience. So the guy, obviously, with the Panthers, we assume in the next year, assuming that he thinks to himself, listen, out of all the jobs available right now, I can get a head start and maybe get interviews and try and get the head coach at Michigan. So why not? And Matt Rule, to me, yeah, you look at guys like the Mike Harts of the world. I mean, you can even look at guys like Matt Campbell from Iowa State, but Matt Rule, out of all those guys, I would take head and shoulders above because he's proved he can rebuild programs. He's proved he can win at the college level. And if you up your program to a program like Michigan, I think he's going to immediately make noise in the recruiting side of things and possibly contend for the Big Ten quicker than any of these other guys. So Matt Rule, to me, the best coach. Depends on what the Panthers want to do, of course, but I don't think Bill O'Brien,
No across the boards to these guys. It's so clear who's winning in college football now.
Yeah, it is.
Again, 7 years for Harbaugh to deliver. You think Mike Hart's going to deliver you a Big Ten in 7 years? Good luck. Good luck.
It's tough.
What happens to all your recruits the second Jim Harbaugh leaves? How many decommits are you going to have? J.J. McCarthy going to enter the transfer portal? Jim Harbaugh leaves, Michigan will be damn near the floor of the Big Ten for a good 3 years before they recover.
Yeah, and that's not a shot, I don't think,
and
at
that's
Michigan.
Even if they maybe make a decent hire. If they totally flop, they're going to be awful. But if they make the right decision and go out and get a damn good coach, I think Michigan, they'll miss a beat for a year or two, but they'll recover and they'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are my expectations. Nick Burke. You know what? 2 years ago, Matt Campbell, I liked him. I really did. He loses big games. Granted, it is with Iowa State. But he did sign a long-term program-changing extension. I don't see him leaving. No. I really don't.
I don't.
To pull him from Iowa State where there's zero pressure, he's the man. He could probably win the Big 12 next year. Oklahoma's gone. It's just Baylor. Cincinnati will be entering the Big 12. It's kind of open field in the Big 12 right now. It's an open season. I don't know why Matt Campbell would go to the Michigan job where he's already behind the 8 ball in his own conference because Ohio State can out-recruit them.
And you're not confident that, Matt Campbell, hell of a coach, but Mel Tucker's coming too. So,
Mel Tucker's coming, but again,
you need to hit a home run with your hire. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah, home
We got to
run.
look past the Michigan man, who's the fit. No. Who was the home run guy that brings the same level of recruiting excitement and program uplift that Jim Harbaugh brought when he was first hired at Michigan. When Jim Harbaugh was brought here, the savior, the messiah, he's going to save us from Ohio State, Michigan State. It took him 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
But if it took Jim 7, the hell Mike Hart going to do? The hell's Gaddis going to do? Huh? Oof, the next hire for Michigan is so vital. It's so vital and so important. And Rob Stone, no. No, not Luke Fickell. Not PJ Fleck. No. Luke Fickell already coached at Ohio State. We saw how it went. He went 6-6. Urban Meyer came in that first year, went 12-0. Went 12-0. I'm not trusting Luke Fickell as a big-time program-changing coach. I don't see it. I really don't. Yeah, I agree. Fleck does seem like a gimmick. Look, he could totally prove everyone wrong, but I don't see it. Brian Hartline, maybe. Chip Kelly, I'm kind of laughing at that. I don't think they would ever hire him, but yeah, Michigan needs to figure it out. And we got to go to break. When we get back, get your questions in the chat. One of my favorite times of the day. We get to talk with all of you listening in. Ask any question you'd like. YouTube, Twitter, doesn't matter where you're asking it, and we'll get it answered. We got to go to break, Maddie.
Yeah, first we're going to talk about Lady Jane's, though.
Lady Jane's, listen, guys. I already talked about it yesterday with my hair. Got it fixed finally, and I know a lot of you guys need a haircut, so let me suggest something for you because we like simple things. We know this, and we like football 5 days a week, and we also like things uncomplicated. And like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, you walk in. I'm looking right at the front door right now. You walk in, you sign in, you sit down in one of the comfy chairs. The ladies will take care of you, and before you know it, your hair is game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime because it is wicked awesome.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on the Morning Woodward Show on the Woodward Sports Network. It's that time of the day, everyone. It's mailbag time. Adam?
Oof, where do we
What
start,
kind of questions
Jeff?
do we have?
Well, it's not a question. It's a joke, which I want to laugh at, Jake. I want to laugh, Jake. But do you really want me to sit up here? Well, Jim Caldwell as the head coach of Michigan football? What's he going to recruit? Who's he going to recruit, huh? Huh? Who's he going to recruit? Eric Ebron? Let him go get Eric Ebron, huh? See how that love story works out. Oh, my goodness. Let's get some questions in. If Michigan can't recruit to beat Ohio State in the SEC, how will Michigan State do it? I'll tell you how. A 10-year commitment to Mel Tucker. NIL, which Michigan State is openly, they're starting. Michigan State is on the come up. Oregon did this long ago, guys. Oregon was nothing. They were like a mid-tier college program.
Right.
They invested a ton of money into facilities, recruiting, programs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And look at Oregon now. They still recruit at a high level, and they haven't won anything in a while.
Mm-hmm. Sick uniforms.
So, yes, I'm not saying, look, to say you want any program in college football to be like Alabama, that's an outlier. No, nobody can do that. Nobody. You want your program to be like Georgia, though, right? And they're running for 5, 6, 7 years, and they win a national title. Not just, we're finishing, we're not in the ACC or SEC title game every year, No. That's what you want. Do you want a national title every 7, 10 years? So every 7 years is really good. Every 5, amazing. But, like, realistically, one team wins it every year.
Yeah.
So just get to the college football playoff. We can start there.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we got in here, Jeff?
I like this question. If the Lions buy my man Tom Sloan, if, say, the Lions don't go DN at the 2 pick, who would they target, and is a trade down an option? I think a trade down is absolutely an option if you don't go DN. I think, to me, the only other pick besides Kayvon Thibodeau or Aiden Hutchinson would be Kyle Hamilton. And I think that he would be available probably at 5, 4, 5. So trade down is definitely an option if they're going to go that route. Let me see. Adam, I want this question for you. Do you think Howell's mobility as a QB will end up hurting him literally in the long run ever since he wants to slide down?
I'm just not a fan of Howell, so it's hard for me to even answer that question objectively or honestly, to be honest.
like
I'm not a fan of him at 28. Sorry, or 26, wherever the hell we end up picking. Like, I am just not. Like, it's hard for me to envision we have a guy that we're paying $30 million to play quarterback for us this upcoming season, and we're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. F that. Go get a linebacker. Go get an edge rusher. Go get a safety. Go get a wide receiver. Build the damn roster up, and let's see what we got. You've got a friendly schedule next year, guys. Jared Goff should be able to win you 7, 8, 9, 10 games. And if he doesn't, what the hell is going on in Detroit? Now, if they have an injury-riddled year like they did this year, okay, that's like, maybe you have that question up in the air or whatever. I don't care. But the point is, I'm not sure what to expect of Sam Howell. I'm really not. Do you guys have any wide receivers in the draft that have caught your eye, Jeff?
In the draft, he said quarterbacks or anybody?
Wide receivers.
Wide receivers in the draft, specifically for me. I mean, 2 guys I'm looking at. It would have to be, obviously, with the Rams picks or the second-round pick. It depends who falls. I like Garrett Wilson. I like Chris Olave. I don't know. I would rather have Wilson out of the two. If you're going to, go outside of the Big Ten, you got Jahan Dotson. You have other guys. The receiver out of, I believe, Pitt, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. There's another great receiver, but there's like 3 or 4 guys I'm willing to take. So that's why I don't have a problem if you go defense in the first round, because those guys are going to be there probably with your early second round pick. Drake London as well, another receiver. Totally forgot about that. Good point, Dante. Drake London had the ankle injury. That's a guy with high upside. Let me see if we have any other questions. Should the Pistons trade Jeremy Grant and a little to the Celtics for Brown? To help Cade, Celtics are trying to maybe separate Brown and Tatum. Although that would be ideal, I don't know if the Celtics, and listen, you may be right, they might be trying to separate Brown and Tatum, but as of right now, I think they're still trying to make it work. But if it's on the table, of course, I would love to have Brown. He's a star. He's a star player. So, the Pitt wide receiver's a sophomore. Thank you, Trayvon. Did not know that. But that's the only guys I'm really watching a whole lot of film. I mean, I like watching those guys. Outside of that, you have Jameson Williams and obviously you have Mechie, but the injuries, I think they fall a little later. We'll see, though. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what else we got in here.
I like this one. I do. Drake London, Treylon Burks, Jameson Williams, provided he clears medical, are the guys I like in that order. Look, who knows how far Mechie's going to... Like, there are receivers that always fall every single year. Michael Thomas was a second-round pick. Yeah. Players fall. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, 30th overall pick. Like, it's... Look, I know the value of picking higher is true. That is a fact. The number 2 pick is better than the number 10 pick. That is a fact. But what is also a fact is that if you make the right decision and the right draft pick and the right player, it does not matter if you pick 1 or 32. Ask the Steelers about TJ Watt. Ask the Rams about Aaron Donald, and ask the Lions about Eric Ebron. Ask the Lions about Jeff Okudah. You think Justin Herbert doesn't go number 2 overall if they redrafted? He doesn't even fall to the Lions. The Lions end up with Chase Young. You make the correct decisions as a front office, you will always be successful. It's that simple. Who should get AB? Nobody. Hella gremlin.
Yeah, honestly, the question is...
Never gremlin. Never gremlin. Never.
So, did he say who should get AB?
Yeah.
No, he said we should get AB.
No. Oh, is it we?
Oh, we?
Oh, hell no.
No.
Hell no.
You do realize he may or probably end up on a team. Like, someone probably will pick him up.
I don't know who the hell that's going to be, Fish, but that'll be interesting to see who takes a chance.
I'm not saying they'll pick him up knowing he's going to be a long-term solution, but they might pick him up for like a game or 2.
Hell no. Just hell no.
Okay.
Neil already had this debate, Adam. You'll lose. No, like, I talk to Neil off camera all the time. Like, he gets it. His theory, though, you guys just need to understand the one side of it. All right? You have to agree with him on the one fact, which is the number 1 overall pick is more valuable than the number 2 overall pick. That is a fact. That is a effing fact. Cannot be disputed. Right? Okay, we move on. But that doesn't mean I can't draft a better player at number 17 than you draft at number 1. That's also a fact. Aaron Donald probably goes number 1 overall if it's redrafted. Not probably. He is. All-pro every single year outside of his rookie year. He's going number 1. We got to... Oh, it's time to go. Whoops. Wow. Oh, I'll answer one more question. Do you feel as though Goff has shown enough to give us confidence not to draft a quarterback this year? No, but I'm not confident enough in the quarterback class to replace Goff, considering I have to pay him $30 million this year anyway.
That's it right there. That's it right there.
We got to go. Thank you, guys. That was a great show. Maddie, you were awesome. Glad to have you back. Fish, I'm not even going to say anything to you right now. Alex, thanks for a great show.
I appreciate that.
You're great as always. Can't thank Jeremy Reismen enough for joining the show. Would love to have him on, hopefully sooner than later. Yeah. It was a great talk.
Aussie. Oi.
Oh, my God. We need to leave. Fish's Australian accent has already started to come out. I need to get the hell out of here. It's Thursday. Enjoy it. Friday Eve. Friday Eve, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost Friday. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.